America first, America first. So here's another kind of division that's unfolding between people who think that the United States is just a country and they care more about the well-being of the planet as a whole, the well-being of humanity, and others who say that the United States should hold its citizen first, which is what Trump is saying, America first, that his immigration policies, that his foreign policy, that his trade policies will first and foremost look for the well-being of U.S. citizens. So,
is this constructive? Is this the law?
So
is this a symbol?
We have a man here asking if, you know, criticizing burning down the trash can. So he's blaming Donald Trump for being destructive for everyone. He's asking what is the point of this? Insanity.
Come again.
So he's saying, he's asking to clean it up together. So we see more and more protesters are gathering here in DC. There is heavy security presence, heavy police presence. There are even soldiers, army soldiers doing police work. The city has been on lockdown with major streets blocked. And right now my colleague Osha will take over.
Yeah, so hello guys, we are still here right now for Washington, formerly site in Washington. The general atmosphere in the city is, as one could probably imagine, very, very different. Lots of streets have been blocked off, and no one here is apolitical. Everyone seems to either be holding Trump flags or wearing a Trump cap, or they're here against Trump and they're holding signs that say love means love means love, and they're saying that's really important right now, that we unify more than ever. It's a very, very divided city currently. See if we can quickly speak to some people around us here. Lots of signs have been held up. We've seen loads of signs, Trump is not my president. People trying to make a clear statement against their feelings, as well as people dressed in the American flag, head to toe. So it's a very clear difference. We've seen a lot of clashes between the two parties, between the two sides, just happening on random corners of the streets here in Washington. And I think we might be seeing an instance of this right now.
Let people fucking do their own thing for once. Just get the fuck out. People are trying to heal here. We're trying to do something. Why are you here? Because they're human beings and we're all human beings. That's why. But sometimes people need to heal, have their own fucking thing. Let them have it.
But if you want to start a conversation with somebody who is holding a big flag...
We were having a good conversation. We're just having a dialogue.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said that I don't have a problem with gay people. I have family members.
You guys all assume we're hateful people. We're not. We all have our opinions.
You're voting for hate.
Okay, but we're not.
You supported him. You support hate.
So as we can see here, this was where a anti-Trump protest was taking place. We've seen two Trump supporters have arrived at the anti-Trump protest wearing their Make America Great Again caps, and they're getting into quite heated debates with anti-Trump protests. Many people saying, you elected him in, now give us this time to heal. One woman was saying we need to be here, and the Trump supporters were saying, well, this is their right as well, and they want to be here as well. And they're talking about whether this is conducive discussion. There's also a sign here that says, please, and still we rise. The debate is still going on.
Because my friend is filming right now. Well, what are you saying?
Excuse me, sir. Could I? Hello. We're live currently now for Middle East Eye, and I was wondering if we could just interview you.
No, I'm not taking questions at the moment.
No worries at all. Thank you.
Why are you attacking us for it? Right. My friend is filming an interview for the news.
If your friend is with the news, which I've been in the media for 30 years, they know to take a phone call and say, oh, I'll meet you at X, Y, and Z place if I can't come here. So
you're standing here. Why do you care if we're standing here?
Because I'm
this woman here in the black hoodie is saying that she is here because
if you voted him in, he is in. He's your problem.
You consider yourself a tolerant person.
Voted for this man.
You're not
Mexican Native American.
You're not acting like it.
Oh, honey, you have no idea who I am or what I've been through.
You don't know anything about us either.
I know this about you.
It's a hat, though.
Yeah, it's a hat. Did you vote for him?
It's a safe.
Did you vote for him?
Who I vote for is none of your business.
Yes, because you're wearing the hat.
Maybe I like the hat.
My business. Because you have the ability to go in and vote for anybody you want and not tell anybody.
I mean, does that shirt tell you who you are?
Yeah, it says Belfador, motherfucker. This is who I am.
Nobody's attacking them. They started an argument.
Okay, don't say
So we apologise for any profanities that might have been heard in that debate, but as you can imagine, emotions are high. People are feeling very passionate about which side they fall on. These clashes, we've seen many of them throughout the day as we've walked through these streets. Many Trump and non-Trump supporters are getting into these sorts of debates. This just seems to reflect the current mood of the city as Donald Trump has been made the official president of the United States of America. There's been a wide range of chants we've heard today. One's about people chanting Black Lives Matter, people chanting for the rights of women, people chanting for the rights of Muslims, as well as Trump supporters who we've spoken to have all said that have been a mixed bag. We've had Trump supporters who say they feel that actually Trump didn't mean those things, and minorities don't need to feel threatened by what Trump has said, whereas other people have said they actually agree with Trump's policies and they do hope that Trump implements them, and that was exactly why they voted for him. Hello, excuse me. We're live from Middle East Eye. I was just wondering if we could interview you. Yeah, could you what does your sign read? It says, great. Give back native land, reform the prison system, eliminate overseas military bases, atone for centuries of slavery, and take care of the planet. Okay. Could you explain to me your sign a bit more?
These are just things that I believe in. I guess the biggest part of the sign is it doesn't say again, because we need to undo like linear thinking that we're making progress when we're really not.
Why did you think it was important to hold the sign today?
I don't know. I kind of made a last-minute decision to be out here. Okay. Sorry. I don't know. I just think it's important for me to be here right now, and I don't know.
Have you run into any Trump supporters today?
Yeah, for sure. That was the reason I decided to come here, is because I've kind of lived in a bubble my whole life. I've never seen a Trump supporter in my life, and I felt like I needed to see the opposition.
And what was that like?
Pretty intense. We had a couple people spit on us and like be pretty sexist and horrible, but I also ran into a couple Trump supporters who kind of wanted to have a conversation, and I thought that that was really cool and interesting, because I think ultimately like we need to find common ground.
Okay, great. And what did you make of the inauguration speech?
I didn't listen to it.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. So as you can hear from that Trump supporter, they've had quite a mixed experience with pro-Trump supporters, from being spat on to actually having a conducive conversation. There's also someone in the middle of a second who is currently speaking about...
That is reality. That is what we're living in. Demonizing the opposition. Today, he did that as he spoke. I don't know if any of you saw it. Disgusting. These are the ways to look out if your leader is becoming a dictator. And if you ask me, he's done every single one of these. Fight back. Do more than call your senator. Vote. Stay active. Stay civically engaged. And make sure you're out on the street.
Thank you very much. Not only is this big, it looks like he's a dictator as well. And also Muslim. Alright, anybody else who has helped in this fight, you gotta notice this.
Uygur going back into round 3.
The only democracy in the Middle East. Can we get a boo?
Yeah, it was.
No, Cenk, you did get your message in, and now I get my message in. That's really hogwash. So, anybody else want to speak up? Go out there, buddy.
Hello, everybody.
I can't believe it's that. Alright.
I just want to let you know
Like a stroke of blood.
it's 5 people so far. So I just want you guys to know these pigs are really not fucking around. So we set up a triage center in Franklin Park. If anyone get wounded, if anyone get hurt, tear gas.
So the person currently on the megaphone is just giving a warning about safety, saying that there's been a lot of clashes and a lot of people getting hurt, and they've set up a place for first aid. This is another sign that is here. Another protesters currently holding. You just walk down the street and see many more signs being held currently. Excuse me, hello, how are you?
What's up?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. We're currently live from Wikileaks Styles. Wondering if I could just get your opinion on this banner you're holding.
On what?
On this banner you're holding.
Get my opinion on it?
Yeah, so just explain to me why you felt it was important to bring this banner out today.
Because I think that everyone has a right to be angry about what's happening right now. Absolutely, but it can't end with the anger. The anger alone is not enough. I hope that everyone kind of comes here, gets inspired, and takes that anger home with them and does something constructive with it. We have 2 years until we can elect a new Congress, and then we have 2 years after that where we can actually get rid of Donald Trump. So, if we're just angry and not doing anything with that anger, we're looking at 8 years. So I want people to remember that anger is not enough.
So what do you say to the Trump supporters who are saying he's been democratically elected, this is who it is now, and other people should respect those opinions?
Yeah, he won. He won the Electoral College vote. At this point, I think that the conversation that needs to be had with them is a conversation where we're not condemning them necessarily. It's really it's really easy for me to say that, as a white man, but if you're going to get through to Trump supporters, people are screaming these things at them, and screaming at them is not the way to get through to them. I come from New Hampshire, and I have a lot of friends that are Trump supporters, and I've managed to have constructive conversations with a lot of them. Obviously, again, it's easy for me to do that because I'm a white man,
have you managed to have those conducive conversations today?
What's that?
Have you managed to have those constructive conversations?
I've had a couple of good conversations with people. Probably not as in-depth as I would like to get with people, but I had a conversation with someone. I had someone in a Make America Great Again hat come up and just tell me that they liked my sign. I had someone else ask me if I was acting, and I told them that yes, I was, and that I see that they're acting too, and that I think that that's great. I think that everyone should be here, but I think that everyone needs to keep in mind that we need to be constructive. Destruction doesn't really get anyone anywhere, so if we can all take this anger and bring it somewhere when we leave here and be constructive with it and try to make change with it, I think that that's really the ultimate goal. And I'm just hoping, just this sign here, I'm hoping is going to be just a little reminder to people. It's not enough to just be angry if you don't do something with that anger.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. Have a nice day. Okay, so there we heard from one person who's saying about the importance that people don't just stay angry, and that actually people have conversations, and that was the only way to move forward through what is happening. You might have heard in the background there were other protests walking behind us, shouting, whose streets? Our streets. We've heard those chants quite a lot today as well. We just carry on walking around. So this is a street not too far from the centre of DC, so not too far from Capitol Hill and the White House where the inauguration speech was taking place. But it's also a very, very, very busy and just full of everyone. Trump supporters and anti-Trump supporters have all come out to express their opinions. Here we see someone else wearing holding a Love Trump's Hate sign. We've seen signs like this a lot. Earlier I was given a hug by one of the anti-Trump supporters who was saying that they thought love was the most important thing that everyone needed right now, that this country had become a community crisis. I'm just going to see if we can speak to this. Hello, excuse me, how are you?
Yeah.
We're currently live for Middle East Eye, and I was just wondering if I could interview you. So you're holding a Love Trump's Hate sign.
Yes.
Why do you think it was important to hold this sign up today?
Well, I'm coming for tomorrow for the Women's March, but, you know, I've never been to a presidential inauguration before, and I just thought I would show up and be part of the counter presence.
French fries that are warm.
French fries that are warm, so...
They're giving them out for free.
You know, I love my country, and Trump, he doesn't get the monopoly on nationalism and loving America. And I'm here, I respect the process, respect the inauguration, but, you know, I want to show that the things he says and some of the things he's doing is not okay. You know, they've already taken down every reference to climate change from the whitehouse.gov website. So, it's got to show up.
What would your message be to minorities and people who are scared by the fact that Trump is now president?
You know, I'm a white woman. To be perfectly honest, I'm probably going to be okay for the next 4 years, but I realize that there are those that aren't. I see a lot of those signs that say, you know, white blindness about all that, and, you know, everyone has to look out for each other, and I would be scared too if I was a person of color. I hope there is good minority representation tomorrow. I know that was an issue in the beginning, but I'm hopeful that it will be, and, you know, we're all Americans. So.
Great, thanks very much. Have a nice day. Thank you. So there we go, there is another protest taking part. That's going to be happening tomorrow. The Women's Million March happening tomorrow. You can hear people now chanting our streets. This person's holding up a flare. So, as you can see here, there's a long barricade of police. There's been a lot of heavy presence of police and military on the streets today. This person is standing defiantly in front of him with his flag.
I feel like it's going to be really fucking hot. Oh, yeah.
You have the right to bear arms, you have the right to bear lives. Free Dr. Prakash. Everybody, free Dr. Prakash. Let Prakash go. Please. 1.5 years for his crime and 8.5 years for daring to challenge the almighty federal government.
Excuse me. Hello, could I just get your post? This woman's sign says, when fascism comes to America, it will be cloaked in patriotism. Thank you. Would you mind speaking to us? Okay, no worries at all. Thank you. So, this is just a glimpse of what the streets look like in this particular part of Washington, but this has been repeated in essentially every block we have walked down or through. Everyone has very clear feelings here in Washington on either side about the Trump presidency and about what should be done and whether this is protesting is the correct thing to do or not. As you've seen at the start of this live stream from Ali, there were trash cans that had also been set on fire in the middle of the street. And we saw someone ask whether that was helping anything or not. As you can see, there is still smoke coming from these. As you can see, there's another debate happening to the left of me currently.
You're not reporting anything, you realize that, right? Who are you reporting it to?
It's been very common sights today here in Washington.
I'm just watching. We were cool. There was a fire, so we started firing the
So there appears to be a car that's been stopped in the middle of this street and has actually been vandalised, as you can see. I'm not quite sure as to why or how this happened just as of yet.
It's insanity. It's insanity. Don't damage anybody.
So, as you can see, some of these protests have gotten a bit quite violent.
Yo, it's hard.
To the extent that someone's vehicle has been, the window has been broken to this vehicle.
Good job, baby.
Here we go. One of the streets of Washington filled with both pro and anti-Trump supporters. We'll be bringing you more lives and more scenes from Washington as the day goes.